Tonight, searching for solutions as affordable housing issues remain in Minnesota. A federal study aims to figure out why and how to fix it.
And the billion-dollar question for Minnesota, how the state should handle a massive surplus. We're digging into their options.
Plus, growing the state of hockey. The Minnesota Wild are bringing a new rink to Duluth. How it all came together.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us.
Turning the housing shortage into a housing solution. That's the goal of a new report that U.S. Senator Tina Smith and her staff spent months compiling.
Yeah, CBS3's Caitlin Moffitt is in the newsroom for us tonight with the details on the study. Caitlin.
Yeah, Tony and Kristen, during this housing study, Smith and her staff met with hundreds of Minnesotans during 21 different meeting sessions across the state. This study started last summer and identifies all the housing challenges across the state. Smith said some of the same issues came up in every meeting. Those included raising homelessness and the lack of shelters across the state. Many communities also touched on the unaffordability of rental housing and homeownership, as well as the impact of discrimination on communities of color. Several listening sessions focused on the unique housing challenges in Minnesota's Native communities, and no matter what the issue, Smith says working with federal housing programs is always difficult.
The complexity and the bureaucracy around federal housing programs and how they don't work together has been a real barrier for expanding housing. I worked in a bipartisan way to make significant improvements to how the USDA manages some of its rental housing assistance program.
Now, the City of Duluth's own housing task force has been in place since last year. They've been working on a local housing report that they hope to bring forward in the next month. Coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear from Mayor Emily Larson about the status of housing here in Duluth and how Smith's report could also help.
All right, Caitlin Moffitt in the newsroom for us tonight. Thanks, Caitlin.
Smith also spent time hearing from those impacted by our region's healthcare workforce shortage. Smith held a roundtable session this morning with healthcare leaders from Duluth, Cloquet, Fond du Lac, and Two Harbors. Leaders across the region spoke about using local schools to help create a pipeline to serve neighboring communities. While the Twin Ports is home to multiple schools providing health-related career paths, they say it's critical to introduce students to science at a younger age.
There's only so many we can pump out at any given point in time, and so the small numbers that we're able to produce are then in competition with our healthcare providers or our healthcare health systems that really want our people, but we just aren't producing enough of those.
Senator Smith says she will take what she learned to Washington to start pushing for improvements. It's a good problem to have. What to do with an extra $1.3 billion surplus? Well, Minnesota Republicans want to give some of it back in the form of tax cuts. Anthony gives us a closer look.
Kristen, one proposal would eliminate all state taxes on Social Security benefits, no matter the income of the recipient. But on the other hand, Democrat House members want to spend $500 million of the surplus on more affordable daycare spots and 25,000 one-time scholarships for a year of pre-kindergarten. However, there is some division in Democratic ranks. Governor Tim Walz wants to wait and see what the state's revised supplemental budget outlook looks like. That's expected later this month. House Speaker Melissa Hortman putting her back behind the $500 million daycare and pre-K spending program.
Knowing that we have $1.3 billion right now, the question is, where can we make the most difference? And you are only 3 once, and the difference we make in a 3-year-old's life in the year when they are 3 will carry with them for the rest of their life.
Speaker Hortman is getting support for part of her plan from an unexpected source. That would be Senate Republicans. Some say they like the idea of targeted pre-K scholarships as opposed to the universal pre-K program that former Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton had proposed.
City Council candidates are making a last plea to voters in Superior ahead of Tuesday's primary. Candidates will appear on the ballot for 2 districts in the city. The first district candidates are Brian James DeMar, Kaylee Hermanson, and Nicholas Leedon. The current councilor for the district, Dan Olson, is not seeking re-election. In District 5, Amanda Foster and Josh Johnson are challenging incumbent Brent Fennessy. Voters will also hit the polls tomorrow in the special 7th district primary. Voters will have the opportunity to narrow down the options between 2 Republican and 2 Democratic candidates. Tricia Zunker and Lawrence Dale will be on the Democratic ticket. Jason Church and Tom Tiffany will be the Republican options. Former 7th District Congressman Sean Duffy endorsed Tiffany back in December. Duffy stepped down from the position in September for family reasons. You can head to our website for more information on tomorrow's special primary election. And finally, voters will choose between a Republican appointee, a Madison judge, and a law professor as they narrow the field in a state Supreme Court primary tomorrow. Conservative incumbent Justice Dan Kelly and liberal-leaning Jill Karofsky and Ed Falone are all seeking a 10-year term on the court. Then Governor Scott Walker appointed Kelly to the bench back in 2016. Meanwhile, Karofsky has served as a Dane County Circuit Judge since 2017, and Falone has taught law at Marquette University for 27 years. The top 2 primary vote-getters advance to the general election coming up in April. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m.
All right, Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Dave, a lot of us woke up to fresh snow, and we're still seeing a few flakes falling.
After a very beautiful weekend, so a little penance must be paid once in a while. So not being facetious, best wishes to those who had a little bit of slip on the roadways here this morning. And the current road conditions indicate from the Twin Ports up to the north, still some scattered slippery stretches to watch out for. But south of Duluth, not bad. Most of Wisconsin, not bad either. But there's a little bit of grease on the roadways towards the upper peninsula. That comes courtesy of a low pressure system that's really just a small trough dragging through our area. The bigger low is well down to our south, but it could still bring flurries for a few more hours tonight and then wind up for tomorrow. So tomorrow's day planner tells us that we're eyeing up a daytime start with cooler conditions coming in behind the departing low, only 8 above for temperatures. Then we get towards lunchtime and might hit a whopping 12. Afternoon may top out at 15. With a mostly cloudy sky. So bottom line is we get some snow, we get some clouds, and the cool comes. For a couple of days we'll be cold this week, but later part of the week here, we go towards much warmer than normal. We'll talk about how long that will last with the 7-day forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Well, there's some exciting news for Duluth's hockey community, and it's all thanks to the Minnesota Wild. CBS 3's Ryan Campo joins us live from the Duluth Heights Community Center, which will soon be home to a new hockey rink. Ryan, what can you tell us?
Yeah, guys, that's right. Communities all around the state of Minnesota voted in the Minnesota Wild Ice Outdoor Hockey Rink Contest. And the one behind me here, the Duluth Community Center, tallied over 32,000 votes, getting them second place, and a brand new rink headed their way. The rinks donated by the Minnesota Wild and Easy Ice will be given to the top 2 communities, which were Marshall, Minnesota, and the Duluth Heights community. As for Duluth, those with the Duluth Heights hockey community say getting this new rink goes a long way toward making sure younger generations are able to enjoy hockey for years to come.
And it's not association kids that use these rinks during the day and stuff. It's a community. So now that we have a full set community rink with boards and nets and everything, it's going to be a great deal for the community of Duluth.
Hermantown was also a finalist for the contest, and they ended up finishing 4th. Now, coming up at 10, you'll hear from those that will lace up the skates the first time it opens. That's right, the kids behind me here. And speaking of them, practice just started here, so I have laced up my skates, and I'm going to go learn a few tricks and tips on how to become a better hockey player, and I'll let you know more coming up at 10. For now, guys, back to you.
All right, hockey sure does mean a lot here in this state. Ryan Campo live for us tonight. Thanks, Ryan. A popular bar and nightclub in St. Cloud is destroyed after an early morning fire. The fire burned for hours at the Press Bar and Parlor, which has been a staple in downtown St. Cloud since the 1940s. The massive fire, which started around 2:40 this morning, ripped through the building, not leaving much in the wake. Firefighters were fighting the fire from the inside for about an hour, but the flames got too big, forcing firefighters to get out and fight it from the outside. However, despite all efforts, the building is a total loss.
The only way we're going to get this fire out is by pulling the building down and getting to where the fire is still burning.
Firefighters were able to contain the fire just to the Press Bar, but there is some smoke damage to neighboring businesses. The cause is currently under investigation.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, a day of doing good. It's Random Acts of Kindness Day, what some local organizations are doing to spread the love.
Temperatures were fairly kind to us today. We had a top temperature of 26. The normal is 25, but for the next couple of days, we go cooler than that before we go warmer than that with a warm spell by late week. We'll talk about the topsy-turvy trend of temperatures coming up after this break.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app.
Everything is on sale, plus no interest financing until 2023 during our President's Day sale at Home Furniture. This sofa with throw pillows is now just $5.99 and free shipping when you spend $4.99 or more. The President's Day sale at Home Furniture.
I guarantee you, if your home just burned to the ground or you had a major accident, your first thing you're going to think about, it's not going to be, I just saved $500 on my auto and home insurance today. It's going to be, am I covered? At Vernon Insurance Agency, our first, second, and third goal is that you understand your coverage, there's no gaps in coverage, and your claims are covered when you have them. Call Vernon Insurance Agency today, 218-384-3970.
Jason Church served with honor, but why'd he back a liberal Democrat who pushed to impeach President Trump? Yep, Church donated to help liberal Democrat Max Rose beat a solid Republican. The guy Church backed sides with Nancy Pelosi 96% of the time and voted to impeach President Trump. Church served our country well, but if he backed a liberal for Congress, can you count on him to serve you in Washington? Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
If it's time for adventure, then consider a two-wheeled ride from the place with the best selection of new and used Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Harley-Davidson Sports Center. We offer local, low-rate financing and, for a limited time, make no payments for 90 days, even if your credit is somewhere in the middle. Visit Harley-Davidson Sports Center, Highway 53 and Stebner Road, Duluth, or hdduluth.com for details.
Harley-Davidson Sports Center, the dealer that makes the difference.
Here's the America I know, a country that puts working together ahead of standing apart, where we find common ground to expand health care and build a stronger, fairer economy and save our planet. I'm a problem solver. I build teams. I nurture good ideas. I hold myself accountable for results. It's how I led a complex, diverse city, and it's how I'll unite and lead this country.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Home World Rugs Progressive Rug Sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Up to $500 off sale prices on any rug, $199 or more. Every shape, size, pattern, and color rug on sale now. Up to 56% off regular prices. The Progressive Rug Sale at Home World Rugs.
Come Monday night, I'll be saying the weekend was way, way too short. And the work week is going to be a long one.
I'm so tired, I'm going to cry.
You cry like a girl. What I need is an hour of laughs.
He's my friend. Best friend. Okay, slow down a little bit there.
It's a full hour of funny. A new neighborhood, followed by a new Bob Arts Abishola. Tonight, starting at 8/7 Central on CBS.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
All right, let's talk about the weekend. It was a wonderful one around the region. Chisholm named Sled City, and look what they did. Slid down the hills of downtown there. Kristen Vaki, I've heard of her someplace. She took this picture and submitted it. Oh yeah, it's that Kristen over there. She's from Chisholm. And of course over towards the Ashland area, Book Across the Bay for folks there. That's always a big annual event. And of course I went to Aurora and celebrated Arleigh Burke's 100th birthday party. He is a Pearl Harbor survivor, and we'll show you more about him and what was said there coming up tonight at 10. And for all of those events, the weather was perfect. Perhaps a little bit less than perfect here today with the snow. That did create a bit of slip, and there were a few accidents on I-35, so our hearts go out to those folks, of course. And now the snow is ending, and we'll be replacing this milder weather with the snow with a cold snap first and then a warm spell. So we get all flavors of weather coming up this week. Right now, we're getting 24 at the airport, Northwest wind at 3 miles per hour and an air pressure reading of 1,015 millibars. We're taking a look now at the current regional temperatures where it's already fairly toasty, and water's made at 32, 33 Ironwood, 27 to 32 from Ashland to Hayward, 24 to 27 from Superior through Gordon towards Solon Springs. Moose Lake upper 20s, mid 20s for parts of the North Shore, but as usual, cooler up the Gunfoot Trail, 19 there, 21 Ely, 21 Hibbing and Grand Rapids and Big Fort, 19 International Falls. Temperatures are warm here, cooler here, because the cool down is coming now that our low pressure system is departing. But as it continues to plod through the region here, we're going to see at least a 30 to 40% chance for more snow showers as we go through about midnight here tonight. After that, things will start to clear up and cool down as higher pressure from the north pushes in. It starts as an Arctic high, initially brings us cooler temperatures. We could go below zero again here for the next couple of mornings, with daytime highs getting as cool as only the teens. But once we get towards midweek and the high gets further to the south, it becomes a warming high. It brings in a southerly wind into the area, and that'll knock us up into the 30s here, and also close to 40, especially come the weekend, which isn't great news for folks in Ely who have revived the old sled dog races that I grew up with. We'll keep our fingers crossed for them. Here's what's coming across the region here for tonight. Our low temperatures in Minnesota, yeah, that cooling trend begins down to about 0 for International Falls, and my home neck of the woods, Ely, there, 6 above. Anywhere from 8 to 10 then for pretty much the rest of the region. And those snow showers, like I mentioned, could stay till about midnight. And in Wisconsin and Michigan, they'll stick around too. Low temperatures there will be milder, 10 to 14 above. And again, I throw in the above because some below zeros coming up this week. Tomorrow's high temperatures, Wisconsin, Michigan, under a remaining cloudy sky, 15 to 20. Minnesota high temperatures go from about 10 to 17, and tomorrow will be mostly cloudy. But as that high pressure system plows into the region here, we get into Wednesday. It comes up mostly sunny and drops down to 10 below for a daytime start, and 7 above is the best we'll do for a daytime high. And still cold on Thursday and still sunny. But then Friday, the high starts to shift the winds, and it warms up to 33 Friday, 35 Saturday, 38 degrees on Sunday. Our next chance for clouds then next Monday, and it looks like the warm spell will continue. So starting cold, finishing warm. Some folks hope it was the other way around.
Yeah. You know, I have to say that Sled the City, the photo you showed earlier, what a fun day that was.
Sure looked like it,
It was a little chilly in the morning, but it got really nice out when the sun came out, and oh, we had a
Looked
blast.
like fun, yeah.
It was a good time, yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Well, what we do on the internet is far from anonymous. Many of the sites we visit and apps we use share our info. Now you can find out which ones. Ring cameras made headlines recently after hackers were able to access some of the indoor devices and even talk through them. Now a new report is questioning the company's use of its customers' data. The Electronic Frontier Foundation looked at Ring's app for Android devices and found it shares info with several marketing and analytics companies. The group also says Facebook is alerted when a user opens the Ring app, and experts say Ring is far from alone. Facebook has recently added a feature called Off Facebook Activity. There you can see all the apps and websites that are sharing your activity with Facebook.
It's Random Acts of Kindness Day, and employees of a local company are spreading the love downtown. Nearly 70 Maurice's employees took part in the event, spreading kindness and inspiring others to pay it forward. They made surprise stops at nonprofit organizations and other local companies, handing out coffee, flowers, and treat boxes. Organizers say it's their way of showing some love to the community.
We were just inspired by it. We think it's a great thing. It's a national event. We think it's a really cool kind of holiday. And it's really part of Maurice's, our brand, our culture, our ethos. And so we thought it's a great thing to do in Duluth.
Maurice's has made Random Acts of Kindness Day an annual event.
Speaking of kindness, here's Kelly with sports.
Aww,
we love your sports, Kelly.
Every day is a random act of kindness when I'm present, right? I'm just kidding. Okay, we're talking hockey next. How UMD fared and where they sit in the rankings after this weekend's split with Mankato.
Save big on remaining 18, 19, and 20 boats at Ray's Sport and Marine.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
back to 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 state.
Being a disabled veteran and to have a tooth pain on top of severe PTSD will take you down in the dump. After several denials, when I went to Aspen Dental, they gave me a free exam, free x-rays. The doctor comes in and then he's like, you are in pain, so we're going to get you taken care of. I had no insurance.
At Aspen Dental, we're all about yes. Like yes to flexible hours and payment options. Yes to 30% off dental services. And yes, we'll take care of you no matter what. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL today.
I had varicose veins removed with Dr. Paul. The procedure was a lot faster than I thought it would be. No pain whatsoever. When I go to bed at night, my legs no longer hurt.
Kelly Culver, a certified nurse practitioner, brings 60 years of experience and is taking appointments now.
Huge tax breaks for the rich while the middle class continues to struggle. That's what happens when billionaires are able to control the political system. Our campaign is funded by the working people of this country. Those are the people that I will represent. No more tax breaks for billionaires. We are going to guarantee health care to all people and create up to 20 million good-paying jobs to save this planet. I'm Bernie Sanders, and I approve this message because we need an economy that works for all of us, not just wealthy campaign contributors.
Jason Church answered the call to serve. He stood for his country in Afghanistan. That's when an IED took both his legs. It couldn't keep him down. Now he's being called to serve Wisconsin in Congress. A true conservative, he'll stand with President Trump, secure the borders, create more jobs, support our farmers. Jason Church stood for his country. Now he'll stand for us. American Patriots PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
America's Most Watched Network. Tonight, starting at 7, only on CBS3 Duluth. Then, stay tuned for CBS3 News at 10. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
We are nearing the very end of the regular season for college hockey. Only 2 series remain for the UMD men, and the UMD women wrap up their 2019-2020 campaign this weekend. And after a weekend split with Minnesota State Mankato, previously 8th ranked overall, Bulldogs have moved down to number 9. UMD put up 5 goals on the Mavericks on Friday night, winning 5-4. Saturday, it took a 3-on-3 overtime for the Bulldogs to settle for a tie and the extra point on the weekend. UMD back at home for their regular season finale this weekend. They host number 2 Wisconsin Friday and Saturday. Sunday's game you can catch on My 9 Sports. Puck drop is at 2:00 p.m. The UMD men's hockey team is back to work after a weekend off. The Bulldogs held at number 4 in their latest USCHO rankings. According to collegehockeynews.com, the Bulldogs have mathematically clinched a spot in this year's NCAA tournament. So there will be a run of at least some sort of a third consecutive national championship. Next on the schedule, UMD is at Western Michigan for a 2-game set starting on Friday. Saturday's game will be on My 9. One of those 3 other NCHC top teams in the top 20. The Broncos are at 19. So with 6 games to go, here is a look at the NCHC standings. North Dakota, the top-ranked team in the entire country, is in first. The Bulldogs are 8 points back after the Fighting Hawks swept Denver over the weekend, so that'll pretty much clinch it for them. The Bulldogs will need some help if they hope to win the Penrose Cup, something they still have never won. And it is officially that time of year. And that time of year is the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament, which begins this week with the girls' tourney at the XL Energy Center. Here in the Northland, there is one team remaining, and that would be Cloquet Esco Carleton. The Jacks earned their way into the tourney with a 3-2 win over Proctor Hermantown last Wednesday. The Jacks head out for St. Paul tomorrow morning with a send-off at the Cloquet Gym. They will take the ice on Wednesday afternoon, taking on unseeded Hutchinson at 1:00 p.m. For the fourth time this season, we're talking about UMD basketball player Brandon Meyer. Why? Because for the fourth time this season, the Superior, Wisconsin native has earned NSIC North Player of the Week, and deservedly so. Not only did Meyer become the #2 all-time leading scorer for the Dogs on Friday night, he was far from done on the weekend. Following that loss on Friday, Meyer dropped a career-high 45 points, which is also the 6th highest single-game total in NCAA Division II this season. Meyer averaged 38 points and 11 rebounds on the weekend split. The Bulldogs will close out their regular season this Friday and Saturday at Bemidji and Minnesota Crookston. And Minnesota, if you're still in disbelief over the firing of Wild head coach Bruce Boudreau, I have some positive Minnesota sports news to report. Today was the first full workout for the Twins down at spring training in Fort Myers, Florida. It's the first full team gathering of the new baseball season. Their first spring training game is on Friday against the Minnesota Golden Gophers baseball team. Opening day is on March 26th. The Brewers also reported to a full spring training workout today in Phoenix, Arizona. So I'm always conflicted. You know, I grew up in Minnesota, so they're reporting down there in Fort Myers, Florida, but it's still, you know, 20 degrees up here.
Right.
So it's always like, yay, spring training, but also
It doesn't necessarily coincide with Minnesota's season.
No, but that's like why they're down at spring training.
Right.
But that's exciting.
Yeah.
Very baseball
exciting.
season.
Yeah, it feels like it just ended.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really does. But we're going to get back at it, and hopefully those new acquisitions will get us another run.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Thanks, Kelly.
Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, celebrating 100 years of life. We'll take you to a birthday party for one of the last survivors of the attack on Pearl Harbor, who also happens to be from the Iron Range. But this wasn't just any birthday party. Tonight at 10, we'll tell you about the special honor lawmakers gave the local veteran.
Dave, that story's coming from you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, our good friend Arlie Burke, whom I've been covering since he was a young lad of 89.
Yeah.
Wow, now 100.
Yeah, oh, good for him. Are we going to see any more snow tonight?
Yeah, a little bit more is possible, Tony. Through early tomorrow morning, then tomorrow itself will be a cloudy day and a cooler day. If we hit 25 today, 15 will be the best we can manage for Tuesday. And we cut that in half come Wednesday when it turns out to be sunny and chilly, 10 below start, 7-degree finish. Cold snap for 3 days, and then the next 4 after that, warm spell. We go the other direction with highs in the mid to upper 30s.
Sunshine almost across the board there.
That's what it looks like.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 10.